Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Freestyle TV. And tonight is a special episode, the biggest special. Uh, Without further ado, I've prepared a little surprise for you guys from 7 years ago. And because this is mega special and I have the whole desk for myself, let me introduce you this little video. Indeed, from 7 years ago, not so many views, not so historic video or anything, but it tells about this one really beautiful trick invented in Japan a long time ago, and it's called Sagami and Stuff. All right, there was some freestyle action to start this episode with. I hope you enjoyed it. That was actually my video from 7 years ago, and also basically my latest freestyle video. Uh, but let's go back to this day to 2022. What's happening in the freestyle world? Of course, the Red Bull Street Style qualifiers are uh, hot and on at the moment. But what I find especially interesting is that the US Open is getting closer and closer. Let me just attempt to show you guys how much money we have actually in the pot for the winners of the US Open competition. Here you can see $15,000 will be given to the freestylers, the best freestylers competing in the US Freestyle Open. So that is indeed only about a month and a half away. So if you're in US, you should definitely be going. And also, if you have any opportunities to go to compete in the Soccer Fest in Daytona, strong recommendation. The setup will be ridiculous, guys. It's gonna be held in the racetrack in Daytona. I don't know if someone here's uh, enjoying NASCAR. I personally think that the NASCAR is a little weird because they're basically just driving a circle with super buffed cars. But that it's going to change into like huge football festival with, of course, a lot of other action besides freestyle. There's going to be music. There's going to be all kind of very interesting and fun stuff. And yes, guys, in this PeGe's special, we have also a guest coming up, and I would like to use the Guido games that have been going around around Europe as a nice bridge to introduce our guest. Since the Guido games have stopped in Italy, Copenhagen, they were just now in Poland, but of course they have always also stopped in one of the most significant freestyle locations in the world. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you from the Netherlands, our main man. And if I apologize if I don't get this right on the first try, the pronunciation, Guido van Moorselaar.
That was perfect, PeGe.
Really?
Yeah, it was perfect. You sound just like a Dutch guy.
Yeah, I've listened to you guys speak a lot, and also Daniel, who unfortunately couldn't make it here today, is from the Netherlands, and he says Guido.
Guido.
Yeah. Is that correct?
My father and mother says like Guido.
Guido.
And then
right.
we have the Guido.
Yeah. You know, in Finland, if you came here and someone would say Guido.
It sounds like a kind of normally if Lorenzo get me on stage, he also says Guido, which is like some kind of Italian vibe as well.
Yeah. But anyways, what an honor to have you on the show, man. Before we jump into the agenda, I just mentioned the Ghetto Games.
Yes.
And I was actually talking with Simon yesterday, and he said that the whole thing was like fantastic. What was your experience about the Ghetto Games in the Amsterdam?
Yeah, I think the location was really cool. It's a location Koog aan de Zaan, like close to a highway, just under the bridge, and it's like a famous court of the street football times, like back in the days with Edward van Gils, Jermaine Vandenburg, Izzy Hitman. Those guys played there a lot of times, and a lot of footage with Akka magazine has been produced over there. So that's really cool. So the location was really nice, and to combine street football with freestyle football is also really cool. And I think in this edition with the Amsterdam Ghetto Games or festival, it was like more new generation, like who couldn't get a chance to win and take the title. So Bodie Bos from the Netherlands, he took the first place in this one, and he also made a lot of progress in the last months and years. So it's really nice to see him and take the title and go further in the ghetto tournament.
Nice. Okay. How many competitors in freestyle you had in Ghetto Games in Amsterdam?
I think it were around 12 or 14.
Okay.
So it wasn't that high, but it was still nice. It was still cool.
Yeah, I think if you count the total of participants in all the stops where the freestyle tournament has been organized, it's pretty impressive number.
Okay. It's really cool to see kind of a tour like this, and also like there are so many freestyle events. Like every week you have a freestyle event in Europe, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, like it's happy times now, man. I mean, of course, there's the super duper mega uber duper sad war going on in Ukraine, but warm thoughts to that direction. But anyways, having Ghetto going around with their truck, setting up events, and people organizing their own events, it's super positive, especially after such a long feeling pandemic, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Guido. Before we went live, we were talking about this show that you've been part of. Should we show the video real quick? And after that, I could ask more about that. Just give me a second.
Yes.
And you told that this show went. The premiere was last weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was last weekend, and we still are playing till the end of this month with this show. So.
All right. So let's play this video. Ooh, wow. So I saw Paula.
True.
Kitty.
Yes.
Edward Van Hills.
Yes.
Rowdy.
Yeah.
And maybe someone else, but I already forgot.
Achi Tarushi, maybe you still know him from the Soccer Showdown days, like the street football player. Yeah, Achi Tarushi. Yeah. And then we have also like 3 breakers from the Netherlands, like Dietje, Ozzy, and Daryl. 2 really amazing guys who can almost do every movement. It's so dope. Breakers. And then we also have 1 person into it, and it's the spoken word. So we also do spoken word in our show. Yeah. And then it's like more like kind of showing the 3 disciplines, the 3 passions that everybody has, their culture, bringing it to stage, and then later on combining it. So mix freestyle with breaking, and mixing breaking with street football, and like you're gonna see amazing things during the show.
Okay, wow. So the first idea that I have is that Sven, our main man, homeboy Sven from Luxembourg, he was in something similar in his hometown.
Yeah.
But these 2 are unrelated, are they?
Yeah, they are unrelated, but I think we inspired each other. Like, I think in 2019, I had a talk with Marco Gerris. He's from Ish Dance Collective, and we had a conversation to talk about like, can we bring freestyle football to the theaters? And he's like already 22 years in that game, and bringing like street culture to the theaters. He had 1 like really big show, Elements of Freestyle, and there was like highly recommended to a lot of people. So he went on tour with that show, not only in the Netherlands but also outside. And after that, we had like a really good connection after that meeting, and we started working on it. Like last year, we firstly made a documentary because we couldn't tour. We shoot tour normally, but because of Corona, it wasn't possible. So the tour was delayed to this year. and now finally we made it. And we played in Amsterdam in the Meervaart, and we're gonna play as well in Carré the end of this month. And it's like one of the biggest theaters, or the biggest theater in the Netherlands. So it's really special to have freestyle football there, and also like street football and breaking.
Yeah.
So it's a big production. Like Edge Dance Collective are really experienced in this one. So it is really nice to work with them, and they believe in our culture, and they really definitely want to show that kind of art form to a new audience. So that's really dope.
Nice. So, combining all the street football and freestyle, I think that could be easy for someone, but then break dance and spoken word, like you said. What's your role? Are you like the producer, or have you role in directing, or are you freestyling yourself in the show?
No, I'm assistant director. So from Marco is the director of the show, and I'm his assistant, and I try to help him out with bringing all those three cultures into the show, and also, or basically he worked a lot with the breaking scene, but he hasn't worked with the freestyle and the street football community before. So I know those two very, very well. Also worked a lot with Edward, and also with the street football community, and I helped him out with making a cool show, and created a dope production, and also with the contact with all the freestylers, like by example Kitty and Paula and Brody. We brought that in the team, and they also have a lot of cool stories with the spoken word in the show. So, but it is Dutch, of course. So for the other people from outside, it's hard to listen. But we create a show together and make people, or let the people know more about our culture. So what is freestyle football, what is breaking, what's street football, and show the passion of those artists who are on stage into the show, and inspiring the next generation, and showing the beauty of our culture, and also about the moves, because we see it sometimes as well as a sport, but if you look further than that, the moves are also like kind of art. We want to bring that even more in this show. All
right. That's great, man. I think the lineup that you have, Kitty, Paula, and Rowdy, it's a good selection of kind of freestylers from different backgrounds and different styles, and so I'm thinking here, when I've done freestyle shows, it's usually one song, you do the freestyle during the song, you've planned it, probably you planned something that at this point I'm going to do this, and at this point I'm going to do this. But I'm thinking, when you go to theater, and the audience, they're probably wanting something more than like 5-minute freestyle show. So
it's a 1 hour and 15-minute show, so it's crazy.
1 hour and how much?
1 hour and 15 minutes.
75 minutes. Okay, so I can only imagine like how much training and rehearsing, and just like thinking, 75 minutes. I mean, I would have hard times to think how to plan the whole thing. So how did that work out? And especially when you have like people from abroad, we
had 1.5 months, 1.5 months to do the rehearsals from Monday till Friday. So from 10 till 5, like every day we had like a rehearsal day, and like we did it already a bit like last year with the documentary. So we also had like Paula was also there, and Rody was there, and like the street football players. Kitty was new in the team, but basically the team was already like they knew a bit what to expect, and but still, like 1 hour and 50 minutes, if you need to fill that in with total new things, you need to create. So basically, like the first 2.5 months, we just created, and also the connections basically with freestyle and breaking, by example. So bringing the football to the breaker, or like combining it together, like those kind of things take a lot of more time than freestyle, like how to connect. It was a really cool process to see it, and to also to finally see it on stage with the premiere. Like last weekend, it was really, really nice to see, and also like with the stage and the lights, we have like a big screen, or 3 screens basically, like one screen from 9 meters till 2 meters like high, and then 5 to 2 meters like on both sides. So we also do a lot of things with video, and then the spoken word, and the lights, everything. It's really cool.
Okay, wow, that is super impressive, man. And something that comes to my mind, I just have to ask, is like, because the freestylers, they're always like, they want to get paid and get salary, but this sounds like that you kind of sign up for a job. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. You get just paid like a full-time job, and also all the artists, also like bringing Kitty and Paula to the team. It's also like something, it's special. Normally, you don't see that often. That happens.
Yeah.
That's also the experience that Ish already have, like those 22 years. They also like big in our the world in the Netherlands. So they can organize or create this. So it's really special. But you also see like that our scene and our culture get also like more recognition, and I hope, and this is just for everybody like worldwide, that it's getting better and better just to live from freestyle, right? And, I hope that change, and maybe theater can also do that, not only in the Netherlands but also outside the Netherlands, to give freestylers a place to create, and also like kind of get the income of it.
Yeah, definitely. That's beautiful and amazing. I actually was trying to ask my homie from Finland, Emmi, who's working in Cirque du Soleil, to join this episode, but unfortunately she didn't reply. Probably she'd reply to me like, yeah, sure, I can come, but it's unfortunately too late. But another time, actually, that kind of brings me back to our episode a few weeks back, last month, when we had Gautier in the show, and he was telling about the Cirque du Soleil and that kind of stuff. So so I think that's great that freestyle has grown to kind of multiple directions. You have the kind of high-end cultural side with the theaters, and someone are still doing street shows, and then competition and all that. So it's a pretty grand thing. Last thing about this show of yours, so you had the first premiere last weekend, right?
Yeah.
How many people came and paid for the ticket?
I think for the premiere there were like around 600 people.
Nice.
In the show, and like Carré is even like that's the biggest venue, and it's there are a lot of tickets sold there as well. Like we have 3 shows in that one. I have to double check how many but they have like 1,700 seats over there, so it will be really dope if we can maybe see the sign sold out, but we have to see.
Then you have like, then you feel like, oh, you made it, man.
We made it.
Yeah. Well, amazing. Okay, so first of all, congratulations on success with that project. And I think now it's time to talk a little bit about the Dutch scene. So the Netherlands has always been a great freestyle country, but lately with the success of Bodie Bos in the intermediate competitions and in Amsterdam Ghetto Stop, and especially Jesse. How do you by the way say? Because if I would say in Finnish pronunciation, I would say Jesse.
But yeah, we say here like Jesse.
Jesse. Okay, so it's not like Jesse, like a lot of people say, but Jesse suits my mouth better. Anyways, Jesse definitely in top 2 of the world, top 3. Monstrously great freestyler. Then of course there's you're a great freestyler. What's the guy, Hugo, monstrous lowers.
I think Herman is also like a really special who's coming up. But also I think Julius is a special one who is not like in competitions, but he creates also like his own words with freestyle. That's also really interesting.
Yeah. But what has happened? What has happened in the Netherlands to like allow all this to happen?
I think like what you already said, like there is kind of a history in the Netherlands with street football, but also with freestyle football. And at a point, like there wasn't like somebody organizing kind of things with workshops in the Netherlands. So back in the days when I started with freestyle, I had to figure it out on my own, like how to do the tricks. And basically I filmed it with my phone, and then I did a lot of times like repeating and watching back the video again, and then trying to find the technique how to do it. But I wanted to change that for the newer generation. So from that point, I started with like Dutch tutorials on YouTube, and then filming videos with professional football players. And at that time, it was around 2011, 2012. It was really special on YouTube. So that created like an online community. And from there on, I created workshops in Utrecht, in the center of the Netherlands. And there, like a lot of freestylers came from everywhere. And for us, like our country is really small, so you can be there in 2 hours, basically. But that was something that there came a lot of freestylers, beginners, like at that point, or they were really interested. And they also got a connection with everybody else who are in the workshop. So after the workshop, they connected with each other, and then kind of a scene were created, or more freestylers came into it. Like Jasmine was part of one of those clinics. Laura Dekker was part of that one. Hugo, Bas van der Kei, like there were a lot of freestylers who were still freestyling nowadays in the scene who came by that workshop. And for me, it was just like sharing my passion for freestyle and just get that passion to them. And it's really nice to see that they are still in the scene and busy with that. And after that point, I still get further with the competition. So then I wanted to really create like a national championship every year. And I think that structure, we do already doing it now 5-6 years, basically, gives also a better thing for this community. And Tuzani is also huge in our country, so it gets also a lot of attention to a lot of youngsters here in the Netherlands. So I think we have a small like country, and I think that's also how do I say it, like it makes it a little bit easier, by example, to do more with meetings and to have more events and to grow it even better. But yeah, I think a lot of those things were really important in getting the scene bigger and bigger.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Before we play this video, I gotta ask, where do you live exactly?
I live in Utrecht, so it's in the center of the Netherlands, like 15 or 50 minutes from Amsterdam by car.
Yeah. Actually, guess what, man? I've been in a freestyle meeting in Utrecht.
Which one? Which year?
I can look up the year for you later, but I remember there was Tonic, Toy in a Romboats.
Oh yeah, of course. Martin, I guess.
No, Martin wasn't there, but Didi, I think he was called Idi. Yeah. Tonic and Idi were there.
Yeah, funny.
Yeah.
Cool.
It was when my aunt lived in Den Bosch, and I came. I came there, and I remember on the day I got to the Netherlands, we had a meeting in Amsterdam, and let's go back to that soon. Let's go back to that soon. But let's play this video, and if you could tell a little about what's happening in here.
Yeah, there was there was the second international competition that we organized, but it was the first one in this location. It's the Olympic skate park of the Dutch Skateboard Federation. It's going to be Olympic. They got their own venue, and we could hire that for a freestyle competition. So I think we had like around 50 participants during this competition, 2 days, and where we did 1 versus 1 battles, but also 2 versus 2. We wanted to bring something new on the table that we could try out. I think there is a lot of potential in that as well, like 2 versus 2 or 3 versus 3 crew battles. And yeah, for us it was really nice, but we wanted to do it again like the year after, but basically Corona hit us. But we hope to get that back this year again in December. It was a really nice event, and also really cool to have so many participants from, I think it was 13 or 14 countries. So it was really cool.
Yeah, I remember when the videos came out, and it looked so good with the location and the vibes. A lot of big names like Sumo was there. Yes, Bangkok. Of course, Bangkok, Mathieu. So
it was cool, definitely.
All right. And did you say that was the first international open competition in the Netherlands?
Yeah, we had one before. There was in Veenendaal, like a small city in the Netherlands, but it was the second one.
Okay.
In 2019, and earlier in 2019 we had one in Veenendaal.
All right. So we can say you're behind all of this. And I remember actually a funny detail that comes to my mind now is that when we organized the Finnish Championship in 2016, which was a lot of effort, but honestly, like it wasn't so great. Like we were in a ditch, we had a stage, we like somehow gathered the sponsors to make the stage and all that kind of happen. And then you send me a message, hey man, I saw the after movie from the Finnish champs. Do you have any tips for me to organize events? And I don't remember what did I tell you, but the things you have done can't be based on what I told you, because like that looks so good, like everything, how you've taken into consideration what the freestylers need, what do they want, what do they enjoy. So you've taken huge steps, you know, developing the culture. But how did that came to be? Like I know like from the Dutch champs, you had a good location somehow. Like there was some, you know, something was up with the location. They had a lot of stuff ready. But what have you done to make all this happen? If you could tell us some details.
Yeah, like in the beginning, I was like messaging a lot of people who already had experience with organizing to just check what I could do, because I think I was 2 years were busy to organize the Dutch Jams, but the first year I couldn't make it. Second year again wasn't possible, so it was hard to make it happen. And at that point, we created like our charity, like called Freestyle Football Netherlands, translated,
or maybe association.
And we created a website, and we created like kind of a platform where everybody could read what Freestyle Football Netherlands is and was, and what we are doing, and basically. And I think that already changed for a lot of people from outside the community. Like, oh, it looks nice, it looks good. They're doing something cool around there. It's quite of new, and there is like one company who was already like supporting us already 5 years in freestyle football. It's coming from Eindhoven, and they saw the potential immediately in this, and they do a lot of things with the youth, and also like with new things, and giving place to express themselves, but also to getting better in it. And they gave me the opportunity to improve also my my skills of organizing. So they had already a lot of experience there, and they took it with me. And I also had a lot of experience with freestyle events where I've been and what I liked and what I not liked. And I also did it a lot with talking a lot of with the freestylers in the Dutch community. What is something what we want? The Japanese guys were also for me always and kind of inspiration. Yosuke with all the organizations, with the events what he was doing. Picasso as well with Super Bowl. When I was at Super Bowl, there was kind of a special feeling that I wanted to bring also to the Netherlands. And it got a lot of inspiration for me. And yeah, it's kind of a hard work, but taking every event and taking every experience, and also like be open to ask as much to persons and people who already have experience in that. And I think like in the Netherlands, we also have a little bit more opportunities with fundings and getting together, but still it's kind of a hustle. You have to, you still have to hustle for it and show your passion to them and make them crazy about what you are crazy about, you know?
Yeah. I totally get the hustle part. But amazing. All right, Guido. So, Guido, there's been a change of plans on flight since the Utrecht meeting came up. Instead of doing the blast from the past from the Amsterdam meeting, I'm gonna do because this is the biggest special, I'm gonna do another blast from the past. So we go to 9 years back. 9 years back. Can you imagine? So, of course, my life was very different 9 years ago. My aunt still lived in the Netherlands, and this was very special. Very special.
This is the legendary place, man. This is the legendary place. Like
Yeah, late
You're
plane.
Yeah.
Yeah. I asked the guys like, what would be a good place to go train, and they said, let's go here. Or maybe it was my idea, but I remember that at some point it started raining, so we went to train at the railway station. And yeah, man, I remember that's Guy Stope or something.
Yeah, okay.
There was this Game of Thrones. Oh yeah. and the funny thing was that you know maybe you remember Kozu from Finland.
Mm-hmm.
Kozu freestyle. All right, some beer, of course. I'll turn the music down so it's easier to talk. Kozu had done the first Skora move in Finland, but I had uploaded it on my channel because I had more subscribers. And when I went to the meeting, the guys were like telling me, do Skora move. And I was like, what the hell? I can't do Skora move. But they thought it was me, but it was actually me uploading another guy's clip on my channel. And the last thing about this meeting, what I find so weird is that in this meeting, I taught Rowdy how to do eclipse.
Seriously?
Yes, and it's so funny because he's like he has maybe one of the best eclipse in the world right now, and it's such a vital part of his freestyle. And
he learned it from
my videos. Please come on, man. But it was good stuff. And this guy, I don't remember his name, but he was Nathan Mikkers. He was like super enthusiastic about freestyle 9 years ago.
Yeah, he isn't freestyling anymore.
Yeah, I don't think he's freestyling anymore, but he was like, at the time he was one of those very young and enthusiastic and active freestylers. But if you're watching this and you wanna watch the rest of this video, and by the way, one last thing, vlogging wasn't like a deal back in the days, and this is a 20-minute video. It's basically like a vlog. It was just some years too early. But I think that's enough for the blast from the past, and it's time to go back to the Dutch scene. All right. We have another video that you shared with me. Let me just pull that up real quick. From the Dutch champs from 2 years ago, 3 years, actually, I'd say 2.5 years ago, I think.
Yes, Sven Phillips created this one. He was with us, and he created this after movie. I think it's still one of our best after movies that we have from the Dutch Championship.
Yeah. Let me put the music up for this one.
Het event is georganiseerd door Guido van Moorselaar en Freestyle Groep aan Nederland.
Ja, ik vind het echt insane hoeveel tijd Guido hierin steekt. En ik ben super trots op hem dat hij zo'n event weet neer te zetten.
Ja, we kunnen echt trots zijn dat we zo iemand hebben die zoveel over heeft voor de sport.
Als je hier bent, word je echt gepusht door iedereen bij elkaar. Iedereen die is je aan het ophypen.
Ja, om hier met heel veel mensen te zijn is natuurlijk extra speciaal.
Het plezier en het freestylen samen, dat vind ik het leukste. En daarom kom ik altijd terug naar nieuwe events.
Ik denk dat het heel goed helpt om jongeren te werven voor de sport.
Ik ben heel blij dat er ook een vrouwencompetitie is.
Nou, ik kom al 4 jaar ongeveer op het rij op het NK, dus ik moest erbij zijn.
Thuis alleen trainen, dat is zoveel saaier dan met een groep en het geeft je zoveel meer inspiratie om weer thuis te pushen. Je weet weer waar je het voor doet, al die uren die je erin steekt.
Dus als je het leuk vindt om te komen, kom gewoon een keer naar een meeting en dan leer je vanzelf iedereen kennen.
Contact Freestyle Voetbal Nederland op Instagram. Ja.
Dus ik hoop dat we gewoon over een paar jaren de wereld domineren en gewoon winnen.
All right. Someone's trying to call me and disturb my content creation, but amazing. I remember this one very vividly. Did you have a live stream on this championship?
Yeah, we had also live streaming on this on Facebook on I'm a Football Freestyler. Yeah.
Yes,
but
I remember because
sorry,
I was watching that. I was watching it back in the days.
Cool. Yeah, and this is at Dynamo. So in Eindhoven, they're doing a lot in that city with street culture, and now also with freestyle football. And like every year, we getting back in this place, and it's a really cool place to come. And we have like a big gym to warm up for everybody. We have a really nice stage that we can fill up with people, but it's not too big, but it's also not too small. So it feels like crowded, you know. And I think we can get there with 250 people. And basically nowadays it also gets a lot of with live streaming and social media reach. So most of the times that's even more important than how many visitors are there. But for this year, it's going to be our 5th year's anniversary, and that's going to be special. So we will have, I think, a crazy lineup with judges, but what we also want to do for this year edition is kind of open competition the day after. So for everybody who's wants to visit and maybe watch for a time the Dutch Championship, you can also maybe join the day after with a community event and community battles. But we will announce it later. But I think it's going to be a special one.
All right. That sounds absolutely amazing, and I'm in so much love with the Netherlands and Eindhoven. Actually, I've never been to Eindhoven exactly, but I remember that my relatives they support PSV, so it would be worth to visit Eindhoven.
Definitely.
Okay, we have just a little bit of broadcast time left, so I would like to kind of go back in time to the moment when you started freestyling. So how did that came to be?
For me, it was like firstly I saw the DVD of the Street Wizards. It was a DVD of Gills, Izzy Hitman, and Lenny Netep, 3 Amsterdam street football players. They showed me a way that was different than the regular football or the field football. for me, it was a way that immediately I got a connection. I felt that it was something that I really wanted to do. The tricks was something that I really liked already before, with the Nike commercials, with Diogo Bonito, and the skills that Ronaldinho and Cristiano Ronaldo did in that time already. But then when I saw that DVD, it was for me like, okay, I gotta train. And then basically I also did that kind of street football first, combined with freestyle football. Like in the Netherlands, everybody played on the streets and doing some street football kind of thing. But for me, it wasn't the way how I could express myself. And freestyle football was closer to myself. And then I went fully for freestyle, and still till nowadays I'm still busy with it and expressing myself in it, and it's also kind of my full-time job.
Yeah. By the way, do you because you have so many things going on, do you have like your own kind of business? You're like self-employed, or how do you kind of get paid for all the work you do?
I have my own business. So I do a lot of workshops, most of the time in a lot of big cities, and trying to stimulate the kids to play outside, to play sports, and doing that with freestyle football. So that is one of the things that I'm doing a lot. Besides that, shows is a big thing. The theater right now, those kind of projects that I'm doing. I'm also have a project which called Chase Your Dreams, and that's kind of a project where I'm telling my story, how I found my passion, and then I'm going to work with those kids, and basically they are from schools from the age of 12 till 16, and then we're gonna work on their story. What do they like to do normally? What is their passion, and what kind of job is maybe interesting for them? So they are gonna think about their future, and so that they make a right choice when they are gonna do or choosing their next school where they're gonna be. So that's also a project what I'm doing. So basically, kind of those kind of things, and the events sometimes, most of the times it's just putting the work. But sometimes they can get a small fee from it. But
okay. And I'm gonna ask also, what is your favorite trick? This is a question that I love to ask freestylers.
My favorite trick. It's gotta be, I think, this one. It's gonna be like a half around the world, and then like the Mia Aka back to this one. I think I really like that one.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? And basically I have to show
like that ends. It ends with the, you know, when you do crossover, no touch, with the opposite feet, but you kind of hold back the other crossover.
And then back like this. You see it a lot of times in my freestyle. If you see it like doing a half around the world, and then, but I like to just be creative with the ball and just flow with it. Basically, flow is the most important thing for me, or just express myself in a way and create a bit. And I like that the most. That keeps the freestyle for me still fun. To find new ways to get in a move, or find a new move and try to combine it, or it's the creative part is for me really important.
All right. Wow, Guido, what a great episode we have, and I must say you're like truly an inspiration for the freestyle communities and for individual freestylers, and it's been a super pleasure to talk with you. Unfortunately, I need to go express myself with the football, not as in freestyle, but I have this football match coming up, so I need to go there. It's funny. It's like, Finnish football sounds so bad, but I try to express myself there and do a little change, try to bring a little flair into the game.
And just one thing that I want to say, like if there are people watching the stream or the video, like please let me know if you have any questions with organizing. And I think like everybody wants to help you. I think in the beginning is the hardest to get companies who want to invest and give like money into the event. But if you are interested and want to do those kind of things, just let me know and hit us up, and I will definitely help you out with the information that I can send to you. I think it's an important thing to everybody in the world to create a kind of a platform, a national platform, and building it there like together in community, and then sharing that story to a broader audience.
Yeah, and that's actually one of the goals in the WFFA also, to help create these kind of platforms and hubs for the communities in places where they're not already existing. So definitely people can message you in Instagram. How do they find your Instagram?
Just at Freestyle Guido. At Freestyle Guido.
Just a moment, please. Freestyler Guido.
Yes. Boom.
Did I get it right?
Yes, that's right.
There it is. So please go follow Freestyler Guido on Instagram. And man, thank you so much for joining PeGe's special.
Yes, thank you so much for inviting me, man. It was a pleasure.
Of course. For the people, make sure you follow the WFFA on all the channels, and we'll see you next time.
Yes.